Oh, wait, the speaker is on the wrong thing. Microphone is here, but speaker here. Okay, now just speak something, say something. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Ah, good, perfect. Okay, so we begin with a prayer. Oh. Oh, oh, तुम हो, तुम हो पास मेरे, साथ मेरे हो तुम यूं, जितना महसूस करूं तुमको उतना ही पा भी लूं। तुम हो मेरे लिए हाँ तुम यूं, खुद को मैं हार गया तुमको मैं जीता हूँ। ओ, 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 तुम हो कहीं से कहीं को भी आओ बेवजह चले, पूछे बिना किसी से हम मिले, बंदिशें ना रही कोई बाकी। तुम हो पास मेरे, साथ मेरे हो तुम यूं, जितना महसूस करूं तुमको उतना ही पा भी लूं। ओ, ओ, तुम हो। थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। कूल। तो great. So the question that I got asked a couple of days ago, maybe last week sometime, and which I actually wrote about on Open Door and as well as on other forum, but I thought we might talk some more about it. This whole uh, subject of seva, of serving others. What is that whole space about? What is our take on it? What is our role in it? How do we construct our lives, if there is such a thing, around this particular area of others, serving others? Acha, volume come here. Okay. Okay, better a little bit. Okay, let me adjust the thing a little bit. The volume. Okay, actually volume high hai. Okay, और थोड़ा high कर दिया. Okay, better.
Still too low.
Still too low. Okay.
Quite clear now. Quite audible.
Quite audible. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, little and better now, I think.
Better, better. Bus,
Okay.
stop.
Okay, great. So, wait, what happened to this? Right. So, uh, so serving others in seva, I think the first question one has to ask is, what is the intention or the motivation? What, why, why serve others? So, um, one end of the spectrum is the the vow of the bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas are monks in the Buddhist tradition. Their sense of compassion and serving others is at like the highest that you can possibly imagine. Their particular vow around the area of service, the vow that they take, is to serve humanity in such a way that all beings are enlightened. And their prayer is that may all beings in the universe be enlightened before me. May I may I be the last. May all beings be enlightened. So their whole approach to serving is, I want to serve you, I want to serve each and every being in this universe until they achieve enlightenment, and I'm the last in the queue. That is the vow of the bodhisattva. And of course, the other end of the spectrum is the me first approach to life. Me first. And then there's all shades of gray in between. um, so why so what is your motivation when you say, I would like to help others in whatever field that is, whether it's animals or people or the world or climate change or whatever it is that you want to do for the earth or for anything? The first question to ask ourselves is really, what is the driving factor, what is the motivation? So um, what are some of your answers? If you can either unmute and say it or type it in your chat. When you feel like helping somebody, what drives you? What is it that drives you? What is your motivation? And a lot of you are healers and in so many fields. What is the motivation? Why?
Actually, there's no other, na, Sanjivji.
There is no other. There is no other. Yeah. There is no other. So even when you are serving so-called others, ultimately you're only serving yourself. And the other is simply a mechanism or a or a means to really uh, raising your own level of compassion, your own level of your own experience, that you get when you serve others, and that becomes one of the motivations. Okay, any other answers? What motivates us? The specific question I was asked is, are you trapped by the need for recognition or fueled by the urgent longing to make a difference and to make the world a better place?
Everyone wants to make a world a better place.
Right, but is that the motivation to do
And want to
good, so called?
contribute something.
Make the world a better place. Yeah, I mean,
There is this, we were talking of bodhisattvas. There's one
Yeah.
Bodhisattva, Pusa.
Okay.
Pusa, she has taken a vow. She literally goes to hell, means lower dimensions of the this thing, frequency, and she goes and helps every person who's trapped there to raise their frequency and vibration and go up in the ascension process. And she has taken a vow that I will not accept my enlightenment until I see every person in hell go to heaven. That is her vow, actually. Pusa's vows. Wow. She's so compassionate.
Right. That's exactly consistent with the Bodhisattva vow of may all
Yeah.
beings be enlightened
This
before
is,
me.
yeah.
Great.
This, oh, wow.
Right. So one of the other factors is, of course, recognition, right? People, this craving to be known, craving to be recognized, craving to be, I exist, I am, in that way of coming from not feeling validated and wanting that validation. There was one cartoon that somebody had posted on one of the groups of, I think it was Snoopy, looking up at the stars. And when you look at the stars, and whenever you look at the stars in the sky, in the heavens, the millions of stars and so many points of light, so many of them, each one of them sometimes hundreds of times bigger than the sun, but they just seem so small because they're far away. And a little speck of dust called the planet Earth, and then a little speck of dust on that called India, and a little speck of dust called Mumbai, and then a little thing called you looking at the stars, and you feel so, like, so small compared to all that greatness, all that beauty that's out there. So this cartoon had Snoopy looking at the stars and saying, I am significant. I matter. I am significant no matter what you try to tell me. So this need to experience our own beingness as being valid, as being important. So the thing is, it's a very beautiful paradox, actually, because at the end of the day, you are all there is. So you are significant because you are all there is. You are the stars, and you are the space, and you are the light, and every light is you. If you weren't there, none of this exists. So your existence is what the entire universe is based on. So you don't need to shout and say, I'm significant, I matter, because you are all of it. So the paradox is that knowing this, and actually the truth being that we still forget that that's what it is, and then we look for this validation in completely what are insignificant and almost pathetically sweet ways. Shouting at the stars, I am significant. Yeah, well, if you knew who you really are, then you wouldn't have to say that, because you are. So we look for that validation out of that sense of not knowing who we really are. And so anything that comes from not knowing who we really are kind of misses the point. So whether it comes from significance, whether it comes from wanting to be recognized, even if it comes from trying to make the world a better place, it is still misplaced, because what isn't divine and what isn't perfect? Making the world a better place has an implication of that the world is not good enough and it needs to be fixed, right? And this is part of where we misunderstand reality. This divine intelligence that is moving everything and is everything, it is so significantly intelligent. It is so infinitely intelligent that to question its perfection only shows our own folly, right? It's not a reflection on reality. It is our own folly that makes us not recognize this. I've been studying a lot about cancer these last few weeks, because my sister is going through it, and I've been really like taking online courses and things like that on what is on the cutting edge of curing cancer or healing oneself from cancer. And one of the most amazing realizations that I had during the course of that study is how bloody intelligent those tumor cells are. You cannot imagine the kinds of tactics and the kinds of intelligence that they are displaying in terms of playing hide and seek with our immune system. They're able to disguise themselves. They're able to fool the immune system into thinking that there's nothing wrong with me. Don't bother killing me. I'm just normal. They're able to fool. Every cell of a tumor is able to fool that immune system into ignoring it. It's able to play hide and seek. It's able to mutate itself in the face of chemotherapy and all that. It's able to change form. Normal cells derive energy from ultimately the chemical of energy is adenosine triphosphate, ATP, and that's what gives cells energy. That's what gives muscles energy. That's what makes us move, ATP. So ATP is normally made by normal cells by sugar. Sugar gets converted into blah blah blah, and there's a whole chain of reactions, and ultimately you end up with ATP, and that's your source of fuel. Now, tumor cells, cancer cells, are able to make ATP out of things that normal cells can't. They can make ATP out of fat. They can make ATP out of lipids. There are so many pathways for metabolism that sugar is not the only source. I mean, it's almost like they can take anything, dead cells, macrophages, anything, and convert it into ATP. It's like amazingly intelligent. So while yes, we want to live our life without cancer and all that, I'm just awestruck by the divine intelligence and the perfection of a tumor cell. It's incredible, and it cannot sustain and it cannot survive unless there is some sort of a will, some sort of a presence, some sort of a divine directive, a consciousness, call it what you want, source, which is creating this incredible conflict inside the body of this army of tumor cells versus this army of normal cells. So while we can condemn cancer and we condemn tumor cells and so on, it's beyond our intelligence to really make that comment. This is incredible intelligence that is at work. And the same is true of the entire planet and the entire universe. There's only perfection. It's moving in perfection. Everything is in perfection to show us, to guide us, to teach us, or for nothing, or simply it is. It simply is. The labels that we give of this is not right and that's not right, and all those are labels that we assign to reality. Reality doesn't come with any of these labels. Unlike a shirt in a department store, it doesn't come with a label 100% cotton, this and that. No, it just comes as it is. And then we put those labels on reality, and then we want to fix it because we think it's broken. So this not knowing the nature of reality, when not knowing the nature of reality, whether it's coming from validation of this little self called the name and the body, or it comes from wanting to fix the world and make the world a better place and change the life for better, and all of that, the changing the world, all of these motivations come from a place of not knowing or not being aware of what the truth is. And the truth is that things are just the way they are, and things just happen. Like we were talking last week, everything is simply happening. And so rather than planning or doing seva or serving others because it's the right thing to do, it's the better thing to do, makes me look good, makes me feel good, or it makes the world a better place, simply allowing whatever service is going to happen through this particular channel called Mahesh or Prakash or Jennifer, let it happen. there is nothing that I need to do to stop it. There is nothing that I need to do uh, to make it happen or increase it or decrease it or anything. Just what happens is what happens. And if what happens is serving others through me, through this me as in this body, not the real me. The real me is infinite form, and there's nothing, there's no one to serve and there's no one to be served. But if that drama called serving, that particular act or that particular experience of serving is to happen through this particular channel called Purnima or Jennifer, then let it be so. So be it. So be it. We are not resisting that. But if not, there's nothing that is lost. And that is really the way of knowing and living out of who you really are is really the only, not the only, but it's the spiritual path. It's the path of spirituality. Any other way in which you decide, oh, I'm going to serve others so that I'm more spiritual, you're missing the point. So in that sense, I mean, making that as a conscious decision, oh, I'm going to serve the world, I'm going to change the world, it's coming from a place of not knowing. And again, that thought itself is also just happening. And if it just happens that you have that thought called, I'm going to do this first, well, then so be it. So that, because that's the funniest thing, because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can say or do that is not spiritual, not guided. Everything is only guidance. So whatever is happening is wonderful. If seva happens through you, wonderful. If it doesn't happen through you, wonderful. If the world is going to change and India gains independence because of what you said and did, wonderful. And if if through you you're going to act the role of Adolf Hitler, well, so be it. There's really nothing less or more spiritual in any of these states. There's only whether you're missing the point or you got the point. And you know what? So if you don't understand this, then you miss the point. And if you understand it, you got the point. But the funniest thing is, whether you miss the point or get the point is not up to you. You'll either get it or you won't get it.
Who is it up to? Who is it up
Sorry,
to?
Mahesh?
Who is it up
Sorry?
to? Who is it up to?
Who is the what?
If it's not up to me, who is it up to?
It's up to nothing. It's up to...
If it's not up to me...
Right. It's up to... If at all we are going to assign some source for this, then it is that one source. It's only up to that one source. That one source called consciousness, presence, divine, Krishna, Jesus, whatever name you want to give it, consciousness, it's up to that. If it so chooses that this particular action, this particular experience, this particular saga is going to play out in this way with this actor saying this and that and the other, well, then so be it. And if not, so be it.
Sanjivji.
And so it's not up to me, the individual Sanjeev Mahesh, but it is up to me, the one that I truly am. So in that sense, it's up to me. It's ultimately up to me, the I that I truly am. But it's not up to this over here. I was suggesting a new pronoun for I the other day, that we discard usage of the word I. And you remember in the retreat, we were practicing that by using our name rather than I. So rather than supposing Purushottamji is ready for lunch, instead of saying I'm hungry, he says Purushottam is hungry. But I'm saying let's take it even one step further, because even the name is associated with an identity and a particular form. So it's like saying, instead of saying that, just say over here there is hunger. That's really the only truth you can really stand behind. Over here there is hunger right now.
Yeah.
So we drop we drop the use of I and we, and it's hard to do that because even as I'm saying that, I'm saying we have to drop it. And so who is this we? There is no we, just like there is no I. So over here, there is a thought of that it's not up to over here to make whatever happens happen. It just happens. And
Sanjivji, I'm reminded of a short story.
please.
Yeah, so there's this guy who's there's a scorpion that's slipping into the water, and he pulls out the scorpion, and the scorpion stings him. But the scorpion falls again into the water, and again he pulls him out. Again it stings him. This happened 3-4 times. So the other guy asks him, "But why are you saving it? His nature is to sting, and he will sting you." He says, "His nature is to sting, and my nature is to save." So that's
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
We just go along with the play of what there is. But it's even funnier than that, Maheshji. It's even funnier than that, because even whether you will go along with and play with whatever it is, like being in this state of let go, is not up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to whatever happens. If I, because no amount of reminding yourself to let go does it. Letting go just happens. And whether the thought to let go comes at the time that you are need to let go, it's not up to you. You may or may not get that thought. And even if you get that thought, yeah.
I was watching your benefits of alcohol, and I wanted to let go.
That's right. आज किसी ने मुझे एक वो तस्वीर भेजी किसी ने, where this lady is this her boyfriend or husband or whatever is lying in her lap with a blanket covered, and she's feeding him from a bottle like a baby, but it's an alcohol. She's just like a baby bottle feeding alcohol, and the caption was like, तुम्हें 900 व्रत गुरुवार के 700 व्रत सोमवार के और ब्ला 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 किया होगा, तब जाके ऐसी गर्लफ्रेंड मिलती है आपको. Oh gosh, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, so it's yeah, it's all really just happening. So even this question of compassionate service, so called, if it's to happen, it happens, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. There is nothing more spiritual about being compassionate, and there's nothing less spiritual about being not compassionate. It's just what it is.
I'm truly feeling relieved. Truly feeling relieved.
Good. That, yeah. Right. Because we don't need to go around feeling guilty if we are, not involved in any kind of voluntary work or seva or something. It's what it is. If it's to happen, it's to happen. There's nobody who needs anything anyway. We think that sorry, 1 minute. Let me just finish this thought. That this, we think that this person who is poor, he needs money. I need to help him. I need to clothe him. So, but who told you that? If this person, through not even this person, this particular actor, this body, that entity over there wishes to experience the drudgery and squalor of poverty, who the hell are you to question that and try to fix it? This is what it is. Just let it be. And then if it happens to you to come to a place of, it's so cold and I have a blanket and I want to share it, well, go ahead. But there is nothing that says that one is better than the other or worse than the other. It's just what it is. And that freedom of things are just what they are. It's just the way it is. That ability to have that as a overall background of everything we do and live in life, that background to me is ultimately the source of freedom and okayness and joy and all of that. Because you'll find so many social workers who look very miserable. So they are so caught up in their social work. Ye karna chahiye, wo karna chahiye. Not as a rule, of course. There may be very happy social workers also, but it's not necessarily that's all. But this understanding truly is what leads to that ultimate sense of joyfulness, of letting go. And yeah, go ahead, Jennifer ji.
So I had read this I Am discourses last year.
Huh.
And in that I Am discourses, today I understood moksha. In that I Am discourses, Saint Germain has said that the only seva you should be doing is to connect with your highest consciousness or awareness. Yes, very clearly written. Listen, to be in that awareness all the time.
I know what you're
Listen,
saying. Okay, go ahead.
that is the only thing. The rest is slavery, he's saying.
Master, Sanjivji has gone beyond that today.
उससे आज तो हम उसके आगे पहुंच गए. वो say that again, because I'll tell you that even that, if you really think about it, is going to sound ridiculous after a little bit. So say that sentence again. The only seva you can do is
So
what?
the highest serving you can do is to connect with your higher self and highest consciousness, and that is the only seva.
Okay,
The rest
let me
is
ask you this
slavery,
question. Let me ask you a very simple question. What in this entire universe is not made of that higher self? What
Of course,
is not
everything
made
is.
of? Everything is made of higher self. How can you not be connected with the higher self? First of all, you are the higher self, and everything else is the higher self. There
But
is
there
no
are levels of awareness, is it not?
But okay, so let me ask you this. Are low levels of awareness less divine than high levels of awareness? Is God present in low levels of awareness? Is God present in forgetfulness? Is God present in mistakes? Is God present in errors? Is God present in foolishness? Yes or no? Yes. Darling, everywhere, only divine.
No, darling.
Yes, darling, everywhere only divine. So once we know this, see, there is nothing which is not divine. So it sounds ridiculous to serve somebody to connect with their higher self. They cannot be not connected with their higher self. Give yourself and others the freedom of knowing that anything that they're doing is perfectly fine, whatever it is, because all they're doing is acting out the will of presence, the will of consciousness. That's all they're doing. So if everyone is doing that, who are we going to question? No, don't do this. Connect with the higher self instead. No, there are. So I mean, and I'll take it to myself also. This open door, okay, it looks like, okay, here we are meeting, and I'm, sort of shepherding everybody towards the higher self. Not true. There's nothing like that. We are all that, and every moment is just that. We are just doing time pass. To put it in Bombay terms. Sonali Pune में कुछ और शब्द होगा तो बता दीजिए. Sonali, by the way, is a poet. She writes lines and words which are beyond me. Beyond me in the sense I love them. I love what she writes, how she writes. And she's a well-known poet. She recently won an award with the Tata poetry something, and I missed that particular event at NCPA. But Sonali, would you care to read something from your Tata Life Fest, right? Tata Lit Fest, yeah, Literature Fest.
Yeah.
Lit Fest. Would you care to read anything? Maybe the one from Lit Fest? Sorry?
Can we see her?
Sure.
Yeah, she's tired, but but that's okay. Sonali, you're perfect and beautiful the way you are, no matter tired or whatever.
Thank you.
So
I can read the
सुनाइए ना
one
कुछ.
which I read
हाँ,
at Tata
anything,
Fest.
whatever you feel like, but with video on if possible.
Oh, video on. See, this is my house avatar, so.
ठीक है ना, तो हम कौन से महलों में या आकाश में बैठे. But whatever you're comfortable. Whatever you're comfortable.
So, hi. This is
Hi.
me.
Yes, this is you. Divine and perfect. Bolo. So yeah. What is
So
the
this
hashtag
poem
you
is
have? Sonali Poetry, right?
Yeah,
Hashtag?
hashtag Sonali Poetry.
Hashtag Sonali Poetry. You can look up on Insta and all kinds of places you'll find. So go ahead.
So this is called We Should All Be Poets.
Yes, I remember this one.
This was actually there's a contest and they had around 865 entries from all over India and abroad, and they chose out of the they chose by voting some popular 25, and then from those 25 they chose 5 by a jury, which was again a mixed jury from Indian and international poets. So it was nice to be on that stage with some really good, brilliant poets. Uh, After I sent it, I was into it, like, was it really one of the good ones? But well, this poem wanted to go, so yeah,
It went.
no
Right.
judging the poem.
Great, great.
So yeah, it's called We Should All Be Poets. We should all be poets because poetry gives you the license to be brave, to make mistakes, to write and rewrite who you are, to be whoever you want to be. All is fair in love and war and poetry. Poetry allows you to be black or white or brown or a rainbow. Poetry allows you to change your name, gender, or be anonymous. Poetry sheds all you dead, so you slither like a beautiful, tender python on life's misshapen branches and still evoke a gasp of admiration. Poetry allows you to play with time, to hold it, twist it, stretch it, crush it, simply by playing with your mind. Poetry leads you to awareness. You can think, act, and exist without barriers of language, culture. Poetry induces in you a seventh sense. You can smell a poet from far and connect. The best part is poetry is free. No tax, no GST. No debit, no credit, no clearing, no balance. Just withdrawing from yourself all that hurts, causes torments and tortures, all that sits like an elephant in your stomach, all that puts a spring in your step, all that makes you sing and sway, all the goodness you hide behind fear, all the craziness you hold dear. You see a glimpse of your own self in poetry. Poetry, my friend, is a full length, crystal clear, beautiful mirror. So let us all be poets. Yes, thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Right, right. Truly. And, and somebody, Rupert Spira, I think, was talking about art, and that what makes art is that in some way it reminds us of who we truly are. That is art.
I think we can, a lot of times we struggle to just be ourselves.
Exactly.
And a lot of times that is just because we have put some limits and we have put some boundaries onto us, that we can't function in this way, or we can't cry like this, or we can't say these things, or use this language. Uh, and art gives us that kind of
that
canvas
that
wherein,
that canvas
uh,
to just be who you are.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we can open out and expand ourselves
Right,
and
right.
experience. A lot of times when I talk to a few poet friends of mine and all, and it's quite amusing that they themselves are sometimes surprised by their own writing. They are surprised that, oh, this has come from me, or you know I never knew I could write so dark, or I never knew I could, you know, write this kind of spiritual things. I'm not into
Sure,
spirituality.
sure,
So
sure.
that is,
Yeah,
in fact, a part of them that is, being reflected,
being reflected.
where they have dropped their inhibition, their limitations, and expressed
Right,
that.
right, right. But just to kind of close the loop and connect it back to what we were saying, even when you are not so-called being yourself, right? You're not being yourself. That's you in that moment. That's you who is not able to be themselves, they think. But that's you. You're being yourself. So in the end, at the end of the day, you cannot be anything but who you are. And every moment we are only what we are, including the confused, inhibited, shy, unable to express self, which is not able to write poetry or draw on a canvas or whatever. So that's you in that moment. So there is nothing but the I in every moment, in every state. So when we realize that and we express it in some way, it reminds us that 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 ultimately I can be this or that or anything, and I'm still I'm still that I, and there's no restrictions and no limitations. And often art, whether it's sculpture or painting or poetry or song or music or whatever, it captures that essence of freedom and that joyousness which is there in every moment, and that reminding us of who we really are, which is ultimately all we always are. And that's why art is so lovable, and so much, we love art so much, because it reminds us of who we are, and we are only that all the time. We forget that. All that happens is we forget. And even when we forget, we are still that. We've just forgotten, but we are still that. Beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Great. So any other comments or questions before we close?
Sanjivji,
Mahesh.
a lot of people say that you should do seva because it's one way to erase your past karmas and all that. And if you want to be free of your karmas, then, So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah. Well, I wrote you something about karma recently. What was it? Jennifer, I sent you one sentence about karma. What was it? Do you remember? Let me see if I can find it.
Although doing seva for that is also it's an ulterior motive. You're
Of
not
course,
doing
of
it for the
course.
sake. Yeah.
Right. Karma to karma yoga. Gosh, I can't find it right now. But the this assigning of individual karma to a particular name or a body, to me, there is only the I acting through. I is the only will. The I is the only actor who's really the director, the producer, the scriptwriter, the screenplay. If in a movie an actor says or does something, who is really responsible? Is it the script and the director, or is it the actor? It's the director.
Yeah.
It's the director, the script writer. Actor का तो क्या काम है? वो तो स्क्रिप्ट लेके पढ़ रहा है बेचारा. तो उसको तुम पनिश करोगे अगली फिल्म में? वो पहले वाली फिल्म में तुमने किसी का मर्डर किया था, तो अभी ये फिल्म में तुमको जेल में जाना पड़ेगा. What bullshit is that?
So basically, you don't buy into this.
I don't at all. It's just, there's nothing. All is happening from that one source, and all for whatever the will of that one is. To experience the Holocaust is his will, her will, its will, whatever it is, or whatever she is. To assign blame to a particular name is okay, part of the story, yaar. But what is ultimately, consciousness wanted to experience the compassion of the Buddha in so many hospitals and whatever, and consciousness also is experiencing the cruelty of the Holocaust and the current violence and all that is going on in the West Bank and Gaza and all of that. To go around assigning blame, not only assigning blame giving punishment in some future script, where that script guy, poor guy, doesn't even know that what happened in the earlier one. To me, is just doesn't fit experience. So knowing this oneness, there is nothing to be done. You just do whatever you're doing is just beautiful. It's fine. If tomorrow you feel like going and doing seva at an orphanage, beautiful. And if you don't, beautiful. There is nothing that needs to be compensated and erased. Everything is happening with divine intelligence. We can release that blame game and burden. That's what we want to release. If there's anything to burn that belief.
संजीव जी,
Yeah.
आज मुझे एनलाइटनमेंट, एवरीथिंग इज ओके और ये मोक्ष वगैरह, ये बहुत ही ऐसे लग रहा है कि इन सब चीजों की जरूरत ही नहीं है. आप उसके भी बियॉन्ड गए हम.
Right. So I'll end with a quote from Rumi along those lines. Maybe Sonali or somebody you may know, Ankita may know also. Kya naam tha? Rumi on Rumi field. There's a quote about a field.
Out beyond the ideas of right doing and wrong doing.
Yes. What is it exactly? Yes. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Because ultimately there is nothing right or wrong. So, right. So all that is happening is only perfection. And we just flow with it or fight with it. Hey, either way, you don't have a choice. There's no point even saying flow with it. You'll flow with it if you're flowing, and if you're fighting it, you'll fight it. Or flow with it. Beautiful. Great. Thank you all very much for being there to sound off and reflect and bounce back all these thoughts and ideas and
Sanjivji, we have to
laughter
do this
and joy.
offline.
Sorry?
We have to do offline.
We have to do offline. Yes, we'll meet and go offline soon. Karte hain.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe in late January sochte hain.
Okay.
Late Jan.
Okay.
Great. Thank you,
Bye.
Nancy.
Bye.
Hello.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye, Jennifer ji.
Hello.
Bye.
How are you, Sanjivji?
Oh, wait, you're telling me to wait? Okay, I'll wait.
Thank you, Sanjivji.
Thank you. You want to do the 1 minute thing?